And I've only been here for 6 months about, I suppose, and we welcome you, all of you, here this afternoon. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Eileen. Welcome to the Hummingbird. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Jean, would you like to say hello to your family? To Anne and Mike?
Hello to my people. And I hope you have a lovely afternoon and come back again.
Hi Hummingbirders, I'm Bill Beck. I've come all the way from America just to join this extravaganza and to make my mark on the Hummingbird House. Mark.
She said hello. Yeah. Thank you. She's nodding.
I'm Ruth Cutler and I'm here on my own, unfortunately, but I'm very happy here.
Hello, I'm Sheila Turner. Hope you enjoy the show.
A smuggler's song. If you wake at midnight and hear a horse's feet, don't go drawing back the blind or looking in the street. Them that asks no questions isn't told a lie. Watch the wall, my darling, while the gentlemen go by. 4, 5 and 20 ponies trotting through the dark, brandy for the parson, baccy for the clerk, laces for a lady, letters for a spy. Watch the wall, my darling, while the gentlemen go by. Running round the wood lump, if you chance to meet, little barrels roped and tarred and full of brandy wine. Don't you come and look, no use for your play. Put the brushwood back again and they'll be gone next day. I forgot to tell you this was called a smuggler's song.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you.
I got another verse. If you see the stable door left open wide, if you see a tired horse lying down inside, if your mother mends your coat that's cut about and tore, if it's, what's that? If the lining's wet and warm, don't you ask no more. King George's men, dressed in blue and red. You be careful what you say, and careful what is said. If they call you pretty maid, and chuck you neath the chin, don't you tell where no one is, or yet where no one's been. Knocks and footsteps round the house, whistles after dark. If you've no call for running out until the house dogs bark. Trustee's here, Pincher's here. See how dumb they lie. Now don't you fret to follow when the gentlemen go by. If you do as you've been told, likely there's a chance you'll be giving a dainty doll all the way from France. With a cap of Valenciennes and a velvet with a velvet hood. A present from the gentleman, along and being good. 25 ponies trotting through the dark. Brandy for the parson, baccy for the clerk. Laces for a lady, letters for a spy. Then watch the wall, my darling, while the gentlemen go by.
Sells seashells on the seashore. The shells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. And Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. A peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper, where's the peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked? And ZYX, WV, UTS, RQP, OMN, LKJ, IHC, FED, CBA.
There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, a hole.
Then mend it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then mend it, dear Henry, mend it.
With what shall I mend it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I mend it, dear Liza? With what?
With straw, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With straw, dear Henry, dear Henry, with straw.
But the straw is too long, dear Liza, dear Liza. The straw is too long, dear Liza, too long.
Then cut it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then cut it, dear Henry, dear Henry, cut it.
With what shall I cut it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I cut it, dear Liza? With what?
With a knife.
Knife, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a knife, dear Henry, dear Henry, knife.
But the wife is too dull, dear Liza, dear Liza. The knife is too dull, dear Liza, too dull.
Then sharpen it.
Henry, then sharpen it. Henry, sharpen it.
With what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza? With what?
With a stone, dear Henry. Henry, dear Henry. With a stone, dear Henry. Dear Henry, a stone.
But the stone is too dry, dear Liza, dear Liza. The stone is too dry, dear Liza. Too dry.
Then worth it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then worth it, dear Henry, worth it.
With what shall I wet it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I wet it, dear Liza? With what?
With water, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With water, dear Henry, dear Henry, with water.
But where shall I carry it, dear Liza, dear Liza? Where shall I get it, dear Liza? But where?
From the well, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. From the well, dear Henry, the well.
In what shall I carry it, dear Liza, dear Liza? In what shall I carry it, dear Liza? In what?
In a bucket, dear Henry, in a bucket, dear Henry, a bucket.
Well, the next bit. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, a hole.
Everybody, there's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, a hole.
This silly bit is called cat-cow. My cat says moo, I don't know how. He looks like a feline and sounds like a cow. He has paws and claws and fur smooth as silk. He gives a big moo, but he doesn't get milk. He has no horns and doesn't eat corn, but once in a while he'll try grass. He's black and white and stands out in the night. But my God, he can lick his own ass. A long time ago, I read a very, very good poem by a man called Samuel Coleridge Taylor. Taylor Coleridge, I always get that mixed up. It's called Xanadu. I love that poem. It was very, very good. It was magical and told an epic story. It had romance, mystery, and magic, and things you wouldn't believe otherwise. It got me to thinking, how much different is our life now? What's our world like? It's not like that anymore. So I decided to write this kind of a rewrite of Xanadu, a poem about what happened to the magic and where it went and how to get it back. It's called Gone Xanadu. So long ago, in Xanadu did Kublai Khan a stately pleasure dome decree where Alf, the sacred river, ran, and Catherine's measureless to man. Now, through the dusty halls I roam. Through the dusty halls I roam, beneath the shadowed pleasure dome. Kublai Khan is long since dead. The bats upon his bone is fed, and roosted in his rotting head. Alp is dusty, dead, and dry, his caverns never low and high. Romance and mystery have been bled dry, and I pledge myself to discover why, to search the depths for color bright, to finding ways to change wrong to right, to bear the dark amidst the light. The long night hungers for the dawn. Now onward down the ruined halls of sagging floors and buckled walls, I take up the quest my destiny calls. I wend my way to Alf's tragic head. All is quiet, dark, and dead. Its ageless waters long ago fled. Descending into caverns deep, where night holds court and secret sleep. I know of this place, here demons creep. I am defended not with sword edge keen, no magic charms or armor mean. I perceive vague threats, unknown, unseen. Now through the grim caverns bore, waft distant mutterings of thunder's roar. My keepsake memories now crowd near, to clear my mind, obscure the fear. The time of reckoning shall soon appear. Desperate. Magic words, a mystic spell, weave a safe protector's shell. Will it work or deliver to hell? There came a terrible flash of light that tore the dark and split the night. I see. Hideous creatures cover the floor. Unspeakable horrors guard the door. To the deadlights, I see no more. To my lips, strange words sprang. Through crumbling chambers, ancient chants rang. Revdek ad Dresden, there's blood on the moon. Ilyaharden is Morgan. The end shall follow soon. Rejkumen nu dilar. Call down the powers of fate. Terbunaf Sendanaken. Open wide death's gate. Genravik nu Haven. Forces fair I command. Nunevern Kastu Benlaken. Invigor me, I demand. Ancient dews circle round, rising up from hallowed ground. The chants continue in a basal hum. Stone walls tremble as the magic comes. Cool blue fire lights my fingertips, and fells dark rakes as it slashes and rips. Black forms retreat, merging with the dark. The deadlights fade to the merest spark. New. Alf is returned to splendor grand, with life's ageless mysteries again at hand. The end.
Oh, I didn't realise I was here.
Are you okay? Are you alright? Do you want me to help you?
No, I'm all right.
Okay, alright, be careful, please.
For years, we've had an aspidistra in a flower pot on the whatnot near the hat stand in the hall. It didn't seem to grow. So one day, our brother Joe had a notion that he would make it strong and tall. So he crossed it with an acorn from an oak tree and he planted it against the garden wall. It shot up like a rocket till it nearly reached the sky. It's the biggest aspidistra in the world. You couldn't see the top of it. It grew so bloomin' high. It was the biggest aspidistra in the world. Well, when Father got a skinful at his pub, the bunch of grapes, you'd never see him fighting mad or getting into scrapes. You'd see him in a bear skin, playing Tarzan of the Apes up the biggest aspidistra in the world. Well, the dogs lined up for miles and miles, a funny sight to see. They sniff around for hours and hours and wag their tails with glee. So we had to put a notice up to say, it's not a tree, it's the biggest aspidistra in the world. Well, the tomcats and the moggies love to spend their evening out up the biggest aspidistra in the world. Well, I think I've forgotten it now. Oh dear me. They all began meowing, I remember it. They all began meowing when the buds began to sprout up the biggest aspidistra in the world. But it's getting worn and weary, and its leaves are turning grey. It's the oldest aspidistra in the world. So we watered it with half a pint of Guinness every day. It's the stoutest aspidistra in the world. The Borough Council told us that we had to cut it down. It interferes with aeroplanes that fly around the town. So we sold it to the woodyard for a lousy £1/crown. It was the biggest aspidistra in the world.
Grumpy and cross are the only words to describe how Lizzie and Tim feel on being informed of the plan for Saturday. Mother had just explained they are hosting the village's annual boating and picnic party on their stretch of the river and gardens. So they will be unable to run wild in the woodlands and flit about in their skiffs on the creek. No mischief, they have been informed. They are to be dragooned into guiding folks who will ride in their boats to their landing and through the grounds the quick way. They will be carrying hampers of food and drink. They arrive by road, have a longer journey, but more direct across lawns. Grandpa is taking care of the parking, leaving Mom and Dad to greet the throngs.
Mischief and mayhem seems to be a fair retaliation for the upset this event is going to cause the children. They love their games, especially on the river and in the woods, which are a labyrinth of hidden ways and treasures. Surely the villagers would love them. Why should the direct path be taken when beds of primroses and sounds of bird song and nest spotting is such fun? Plans need to be made. And all those extra boats, well, that's mischief in the making. Grandad taught them to manage their skiffs well, and surely he would be an ally if things go wrong. He always laughs at their antics. The day has arrived. They watch a marquee going up with oar. Just in case it rains, said Mum. The great wooden supports creaked into place. Then the canvas, hauled on enormous ropes, was set into place. What a sight it was as the pegs were hammered into place. This day might be fun after all, they thought. Vast quantities of beautiful flowers in massive urns graced the interior. Lizzie felt as if she was in a fairy tale. Tim was more interested in the men with the mallets who were now adjusting the tension on the ropes. Right, said Mama, off with the pair of you to show our guests the way. Delighted to be out of the way of watchful eyes, they disappeared in the small landing stage. Looking down the river, they saw a mass of boats, some powered, others under sail, and smaller ones being oared along. The sight was magnificent. The villagers had festooned their vessels with colourful bunting and flags galore. Some even had swathes of balloons flying high. A few had music playing. One of them had drums beating and someone was blowing a horn. Tim and Lizzie were now excited by the spectacle. All thought of mischief and mayhem gone. This was going to be fun. As the boats approached, it was clear the day trippers had dressed for the occasion. Pirates and swashbuckling adults and children. Some of old-fashioned dress. Some like Miss Bronte, Lizzie explained. Tim had no idea who she meant, but was agog when it was clear. Clearly everyone was aflutter with joy. They worked hard, helping unload enormous picnic baskets and ferrying people in their skiffs from boats that had to anchor midstream. They gave a choice of routes to the upper gardens and let the villagers choose a way that suited them. Those with Wellington-booted children allowed them to charge through the woodland, led by Tim, who made loads of new friends. Lizzie led the others, the quick way pointing out the treasury of nature around them. The lawns were full of happy, smiling people, chatting and sharing picnics. Unknown to the children, their parents were being heaped with praise about how wonderful their offspring were. Quietly they waited for mischief, but none came. New beginnings, they thought. Lizzie and Tim were busy involving themselves in the village event. Grandad, however, was entertained by the antics they were teaching some of the children away from parental eyes, but all in good-natured fun. The music faded, and the day ended, and everyone headed home. Can we do it again next year? Asked the children. Maybe, replied Dad. But now we need to clear up.
All these people behind me are part of the book club. What we do, as well as reading, they challenge me every so often. They give me words or sentences, names of people, scenarios, and I use their words to form a story around it. And that was one of them, called A Spring Picnic.
And this is Julie, our chair Pilates teacher, so look how fortunate we are.
Well, basically, I just come and follow them. Because they've worked so hard over the past, I think it's about 4 years now. Yeah, and all these lovely ladies and gentlemen here come every Monday. We do some stretching, we do some breathing, and it's all about just keep moving, keep breathing, and we have a laugh, don't we?
Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm not crazy, or for the love of you. It would be a stylish marriage, I can't afford a carriage. But you look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle.